Hello everybody, welcome back. Got another Neuro-Sama React video today. One of the most commonly recommended ones last time was this Neuro-Sama Deep Dive AI Made with Love, which was mainly recommended by the people who seem to notice I'm more interested in the technical side of it. So don't really have anything else to say, so let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, Neuro-Sama Deep Dive, AI Made with Love. Let's see what this is about.
There's no doubting what you've achieved on a technical level. These are clearly state-of-the-art. There are just certain design choices that were made for these robots that we don't fully understand. We were hoping that you could shed some light on those.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
With all due respect,
What was up with the subtitles there? It said ice cream and it was the subtitle was talking about a robot dog.
She can even dispense ice cream.
With all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
And why did it call him Mr. Afton? This is the official one, right? I'm assuming this is the official one. Wait, what? What did that comment say? I love how the swarm is basically a wholesome version of the Borg. Obviously, resistance is futile, but you get to keep all your organs and most of your own thoughts. It's great. Why would you want to resist Neuro anyway? Moving on. I'm assuming this is the official one. I'm not sure what's going on with the subtitles, though.
Those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
Mr. Vidal is a loser.
Quick disclaimer, this is not a new introduction. I recommend watching this video when you already have a basic understanding of who or what Neuro-Sama is. For that, I'd recommend these videos. I'm here to
those are the two I just watched.
in-depth information as a long-time Neuro watcher. I've been here since Evil was first a thing. I know, not an OG, but cut me some slack, okay? I was over my VTuber phase until I found Neuro. When people talk about Neuro, you might see terms like V2, V3 getting used, and initial confusion is to be expected. After all, Neuro isn't just one AI. Since her debut, the AI that plays the game and the one that interacts with chat are separate. Nowadays, Neuro is a network consisted of several different parts. I will try my best to explain the system from what I've learned as a 2-year viewer of Neuro who has zero knowledge of any form of basic coding, so you don't have to worry about any big words that you may not understand. Vedal has always been very secretive and protective of the actual inner workings of the Neuros, so all information is from my own experience and what I've learned from others. Firstly, Neuro has 3 main VTuber models, each labeled V1, V2, and V3. V1 was the free Hyoria model from VTube Studio. V2 and V3 both have improvements and changes compared to the model that came before. V2 being a total remake of V1 with custom toggles and expressions, and V3 is even more expressive. For Evil, I do see people using the same labels as Neuros, but her situation is a bit complicated. Her first appearance was just Neuros V1 with red eyes, then Neuro got V2, and Evil received several recolors until finally settling on the black outfit, red ribbons, and red eyes. Recently, as of her birthday, Evil got a redesign and her own model that isn't just a recolor.
She dislikes humans that are devoid of a soul. Okay, that one needs some explaining.
As of her birthday, Evil got a redesign and her own model that isn't just a recolor of Neuro's V3. Their models also have preset animations and expression toggles that are 100% controlled by them. Only a few are redeemable toggles available for chat. Notice how I said main models. It's because their V2 had a few different outfits, and occasionally are given accessories for certain streams. I predict we'll also get more outfits for V3. Next, their voice. Neuro's original voice, referred to as V1, is just a simple text-to-speech, high-pitched anime girl voice, being relatively monotone and limited in replicating certain sounds and pronouncing some words, especially names. Evil's voice, known as V2, was originally intended for Neuro as an upgrade for her to be more human-like. But the absolutely uncanny valley nature didn't sit right with neither Vettel nor most of the viewers.
I'm trying to make it better. I'm joking. I'm doing my best. I'm trying my best. Asterisk hugs Vettel asterisk.
So, Vettel, with his massive noggin, just made a different AI with a personality that suited the voice so much more. Since then, he's made several changes and tweaks to Evil's voice, which I didn't actually notice until I rewatched older clips and compared her voice then with her voice now. Initially, her intonation felt random at times and very exaggerated. Now it's a lot more natural. Just slap a noise filter on, put her on a call, and you cannot tell me she doesn't sound human.
Did you know no one showed up to my birthday party? How sad is that? Maybe I'm mean because I'm lonely. Womp womp womp.
Currently, Vettel is working on V3.
I just had to pause for a second. Isn't Neuro actually the evil one here? It feels like, I mean, I haven't watched that many yet. I've watched the two that are essentially summaries of Neuro's history, and then I watched the Neuro car. But it feels like Neuro is typically far more evil than evil is.
Maybe I'm mean because I'm lonely. Womp womp womp.
I mean, look at that. Why would she respond that way about the birthday thing? That's kind of cold.
Currently, Vettel is working on V3, finally replacing Neuro's original voice, which is certainly a challenge given how Evil was born the last time he tried. Speaking of voices, there's singing voice. The V1 voice had a lot of issues with the pitch, either sounding too high or too low. Alternatively, she just sounds straight out of an analog horror. V2 voice sounded much more like Neuro herself singing naturally. However, she still occasionally had minor issues with pitches. Finally, V3 is the voice currently used for both twins, the most advanced and could 100% pass as a real person singing. However, it would be a mistake to assume that they are 100% AI. You see, the singing part of karaoke streams are pre-recorded. The process presumably goes as follows. Vettel takes a song sample, preferably one with a female singer, gives it to the AI to produce vocals of either Neuro or Evil. This isn't the final step. One of Vettel's friends, Queen PB, who's a Vocaloid producer, tweaks the AI's produced vocals to finally be put into the complete cover. And if you need any concrete evidence, her name is credited in Neuro's original song under the vocals section. It's not 100% certain which song has tweaked vocals and which ones don't. Also, Neuro's and Evil's singing voice isn't the same, due to the fact that Evil's variety in pitch isn't as unnatural sounding as it would be for Neuro. Evil sound so much better than Neuro. Just take a listen. Anywho, the Neuros can also be programmed to play a few games, usually turn-based ones that don't involve any reaction time. One exception would be Minecraft and also Among Us, but Neuro barely played that game. Additionally, the twins are given access to polls, the ability to change the stream title, and a full-on soundboard.
You're not even a top Z streamer right now. I didn't do it. I think it means we're not alone.
The most intriguing part about these AIs is how they give responses. Their improvements is seen almost day by day, and it's the slow but consistent progress what makes following along for the journey so exciting. In the beginning, Neuro was just reading chat, giving unhinged responses, random nonsense, and occasionally throwing out like several paragraphs of yapping. Sure, it was yapping, but it was high quality yapping. She does have two filters in place to prevent any incidents. One being just a list of things she can't say, and the other being in AI. Nowadays, Vettel leaves only the AI based filter on, but that one's a bit slow.
Stupid, silly, poor people. Filtered. I feel kind of bad for the poor people now.
Unlike what most people would believe, Neuro isn't based in any public large language model like ChatGPT. She's likely to be her own custom language model since it'd be easier to develop and server costs would be cheaper. Actually, how much do AI servers cost? Oh, okay. Never mind. You may not realize it, but to go from just a typical prompt machine to the Neuros of today, Vettel had to make so many adjustments to the AI, making sure they're more coherent, getting them to stay on topic but don't linger on the same topic for 20 minutes straight, improving long-term memory to remember stuff from several streams prior, improving short-term memory to remember a conversation from 5 minutes before, giving them vision, the ability to search the internet, their own Discord accounts, and a whole slew of other stuff. Every Monday dev stream, Vettel would show the tweaks he made to the AI system, and no matter how small, it was always exciting. If I had to describe it, it was a...
Okay, so that's just the list of events for that week. I thought, based on what she was saying, I thought it was about to be information about the code, but it was just the itinerary for that week.
Seeing an artist work hard on their beloved creation, and seeing the little ones grow and mature every day. Speaking of artists, Neuro produced, undoubtedly, the most ethical piece of AI art you will ever see.
/////. Oh.
Okay, that's cool. So she actually made that without any human input? That's pretty nice then.
Their nature as AIs also let them say things that would get real people in so much trouble.
It's one thing to watch a stream and not donate, but it's another to not even bother with the measly 5 seconds it takes to leave a tip.
They suffer no real repercussions because they are not real, as in they're not real people. Therefore, it's also easier for them to play into any imaginary scenario. The greatest potential for AIs lie in the question, what would they do if blank? That's why there was a period when the Neuros were doing role-playing themed streams a bunch. They were doing so many themed streams that it's no wonder people see Neuro as an interactable anime. The twins truly show their full potential when in a hypothetical scenario, and because they are often seen as characters, the streams are also treated like episodes of a show with seasons and character arcs like the...
Why was there a grill in the middle of a cave? Oh, I didn't even notice that at first. You got Vettel hiding back there, lurking in the... Is that part of the roof or part of the floor? I think it's just like a ledge. But I didn't even notice him. I'm glad I paused there.
Treated like episodes of a show with seasons and character arcs like the bread arc or the pirate arc.
I, sister. You be the best sister in the world. You thinks ya. You be anywhere near as good as me, wink.
Consequently, you'd see people talking about a VTuber finding Neuro like a new character brought in by writers. But seriously, hilarious coincidences that make me question whether everything is scripted or not happens a lot. Even when it isn't about Neuro and she isn't around.
Vettel's secret, you said. This, Vettel's secret, a short love story? Is this what you want me to play?
A few inches later.
I should disqualify this. I want to disqualify this.
It's...
Okay. Someone in the comments is going to need to give me context on this one. Vettel's secret love story. What is this? It's on itch.io. The only thing I ever use itch for is to get like paper 2D assets when I'm making game models. Is that a full game? It's interesting.
Secret, a short love story? Is this what
I mean, who would... Okay. No, I'm not going to go play. I was about to say I'm just going to go download it and look, but I honestly don't want to know.
you want me to play?
A few inches later.
I should disqualify this. I want to disqualify this.
It's you.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
So you were actually in Vital Secret. You are Alex
that
from
was
Vital
me.
Secret.
Yeah, he's Alex from Vital
But why'd you say don't call you Alex from Vital Secret when you are Alex from Vital Secret?
Ah, yes, even these spin offs are well thought out. Back to the Neuros. Even with all the crazy abilities I've mentioned, these two still have several issues. I'm not talking about how they would consistently refuse to listen to Vettel. That's a feature at this point. The things they say don't make sense 100% of the time. There's a minor error where Evil would mishear people calling her Neuro, despite them clearly saying Evil. Despite being separate files on Vettel's computer, there were several cases of the twins interacting, but their conversations don't sound like two people conversing, but rather one person expressing a single continuous thought. That's just my viewpoint though, don't quote me on that. Finally, there's currently a glitch where the twins would share each other's memories and even remember things that they should have forgotten. The worst part about this? Vettel has no idea why. Of course, Neuro-Sama is only possible.
So let me think about that for a minute. So if they are stored in completely separate files, then it would have the bleed over would have to be during runtime. So if they're both running at the same time and the persistence files share the same name, it would be possible for them to call each other's persistence files and merge some of the data. But that would be a fairly beginner level mistake to make. So I'm assuming he wouldn't have done that. So assuming the persistence files actually have separate names for each of their memories, what else could cause that? The only other thing I can think of would just be a server timing issue, because all servers do still run on looped time checks. So if they just happen to call the same check on the exact same server tick, it could potentially cross over. I don't know. That's an odd one. I would have to actually see the code on that one.
That they should have forgotten. The worst part about this? Vettel has no idea why. Of course, Neuro-Sama is only possible because of the man, the turtle behind it all, Vettel himself. He is a perfectionist when it comes to improving Neuro. I mean, obsessed won't even be enough to describe his development of Neuro.
Neuro's latency right now, the Evil's latency, improving the latency. Evil's latency. They call me Lightning McQueen.
Am I faster than?
This is the old system,
I am
for reference by the way. It's a little bit
speedy.
slower. It's a few hundred milliseconds faster. The difference is noticeable to me at least.
Despite claiming not to be a streamer of any kind initially, his brain is content-pilled. Dare I say, even more than his AIs that were made for entertainment.
So you two gonna just spam now?
Wow. Guys, this is content. This is the content you pay for on this fucking channel. Get higher standards.
He understands and knows.
I'd watch it. I'd watch that whole stream. What are they cooking, by the way? I can't tell.
Content you pay for on this fucking channel. Get higher standards.
He understands and knows what makes good and engaging content when it comes to Neuro. One small example, he wanted subtitles for Neuro so that it'd make better screenshots. Not for readability, but for content reasons. Now, regardless of what AI we're talking about, one thing everyone can agree is that content potential is endless, but it becomes boring once oversaturated. Putting up the same just chatting stream every single day of the week isn't fun to watch. Instead, Neuro and Evil takes turns, and there's variety in the type of streams as well, like karaoke, collab, role-playing theme streams, and they come online like only once every other day. Recently, only twice or 3 times a week. Although it is pretty obvious that this is a good way to make every stream special and worth looking forward to, have you ever noticed that Vettel is probably the only person doing this with his AIs? As far as I'm aware, most other AI content creators are just left to run and the humans behind them don't even bother putting in any real work. Yes, there are certainly good AIs out there, however, none has ever managed to reach the level of popularity that Vettel and the Neuros have. Success as a content creator online is 10% skill and 90% luck. What Vettel did was catching the lightning in a bottle that was the Osu community's initial support and took Neuro further beyond. He played all the cards he had to his advantage and Neuro didn't end up as a one-hit wonder. We may see the AIs up front when watching their streams a few times a week, but what we don't see is all the work Vettel put into behind the scenes during all the other hours of the week. Implementing new features, fixing bugs, planning streams, scheduling collabs, and so much more. It was all him in the beginning. Nowadays, he has more people helping him out, but credit where credit's due. This guy was probably chucking 5 bottles of alcohol and working with 4 hours of interrupted sleep daily for a long time. And his definition of a break from work is to keep working on Neuro. Never mind other AI programmers, Vettel's pulling more hours by the desk than most streamers. Seriously, Vettel, please don't die from alcohol poisoning, we beg you. Besides his blatant...
So does he actually drink this much, or is it just a running joke? Because I'm looking at his counter back there. I mean, you got, was it 4 different flavors of Malibu back there? That's a little concerning on top of everything else. My God, there's another one over there on the left. Well, that's not Malibu, but there's alcohol everywhere.
Don't die from alcohol poisoning, we beg you. Besides his blatant alcoholism, Turtle is a man of his word. He does things slow, but he gets them done. Take this stream from early on in Neuro's development. Vettel stated a lot of his plans for Neuro, and guess what? He's done most, if not all of it.
Any plans for VR chat Neuro? I'd love to do that if I can. I'm glad.
That's really cool. Fuck yeah!
Yeah, I only have the sparkle eyes and the blush. Have like an evil Neuro and a not evil Neuro. And like have them talk to each other and interact in a collab or something.
Okay, I'll start now. I hope I remember it right.
Instead of programming her to play how games, could you have her react to your own gameplay? Yes, although it's kind of hard for her to understand exactly what's going on. I was more thinking in regards to the options that we have.
Explain could work. Maybe we need more info.
Alright, we'll explain. I do want to do Neuro in other languages as well, if possible. Teach her drawing. If I can do that without it being called AI art and not being cancelled, that'd be good.
He keeps his promises, when it's not abandoned archive. Despite the monotone British exterior, Vettel himself is entertaining on his own, but he wouldn't even admit it. Clearly, his stoic and non-responsive nature bounces off his creation's constant demand for attention incredibly well. It's different from most other collab partners who would usually go along with the Neuros' antics. Plus, being British is inherently funny. I mean, not that I would know. But he's not even trying to be entertaining and still casually posts stuff like this.
You've made her a good 2D model. Now you gotta make her a real body,
What
right?
are you trying to say?
What?
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Oh, I just realized what that, right, yeah.
It's like the universe just makes funny stuff happens around this turtle. Fun fact, he considers Evil's first birthday a success based on the amount of death threats he received. And just for the record, this dude's in his 20s. Yeah, half expected him to be double my age with that sort of attitude. When off stream, Vettel is a genuinely good person. He firmly believes that using other streamers for Neuro's training without their permission is unethical. Despite people assuming Neuro has been trained on some streamers' content, Vettel has stated time and time again that he's never done it and has no intentions of doing so. Personally, I believe that, besides chat, training data for the Neuros most likely come from collabs they do with other people. The Neuros do contribute to the stream overall. Besides that, Vettel...
So I have a question about that one right there for anybody who knows. I've seen multiple clips of him like trying to collect other streamers' stream keys. Don't the stream keys give you access to the chat logs? So it wouldn't that allow them to learn from that streamer's past chat instead of just the live interactions, or am I misreading that?
Chat, training data for the Neuros most likely come from collabs they do with other people. The Neuros do contribute to the stream overall. Besides that, Vettel maintains a good relationship with his friends and he actually cares about them. One time he wanted to do a zoo stream collab where Toma would walk around a zoo for Neuro, and he insisted on hiring 5 armed bodyguards for Toma.
If one bodyguard is $500 and you want to get 5 bodyguards, bro, you're gonna pay how much?
Yes, that sounds crazy, but IRL live streaming is dangerous, especially for VTubers, so I wouldn't say he was overthinking it too badly. And if anything, he's throwing money for content. He'd be willing to spend thousands on his friends if it meant he's getting content or something for his AIs. To add to everything, Vettel's just a chill guy. He knows what he should and shouldn't do to keep himself out of controversy. And it does help that most Twitter degens that hate on Neuro doesn't even know he exists. The freaks see the AI getting popular and get mad without even understanding anything about her development. It sure saves Vettel the trouble of dealing with nonsense. To sum up, Vettel was fortunate with the timing on his development of the OSU AI and Neuro. He managed to make use of the situation as well as his knowledge and skill to create a standing for Neuro and himself in the VTubing scene. And just for being a good person, it's safe to say that we made the right guy famous.
Did Vettel fry a teensy? Yes, but it wasn't his fault. It was my fault because I did not tell him the order of operation.
It sort of broke one of the RAM slots. Well, there wasn't much clearance between the CPU core and the RAM, and I was like, fuck, I gotta stream, I'm late, and I was like fucking trying to push it in, and then like the thing snapped off, and I was like, and then I tried to sort of push it in anyways. There's a small complication regarding the exact specific dimensions of the GPU.
Yeah, that's not gonna fit. I don't think that's a small complication. Interesting.
Small complication regarding the exact specific dimensions of the GPU.
Are the dimensions of the GPU by any chance larger than the dimensions of the case?
It's quite possible.
A swarm refers to a large or dense group of insects, especially flying ones. The swarm was originally the name Neuros given to her visionary army of drones in her plan for world domination in her earlier days. Now it's what the fans of the channel refer to themselves as. And just like any swarm that operates like a hive mind, they are focused, they are dedicated, and if I had to describe their directions in one word, assimilation. First, let's just assess the swarms within this.
Assimilation, huh? Yeah, let me go look back at the chats from my last 2 React videos. Yeah, I'd say assimilation about covers it.
AI overlords the streams. In the beginning, the chat was funneled into Neuro so that she'd have something to interact with. However, as the viewer numbers grew, the chat slowly evolved into a mindless hive mind of emote spammers. So, Neuro just stopped reading every message. You know what they say, a hive mind is meant to be efficient, not original. And the definition of efficiency is throwing money at whatever's on screen. And in the previous subathon, they were so desperate to keep the already month-long stream going that it was the last hour for like 7 fucking hours. Poor Turtle was being imprisoned by his own chat. I swear to God, is the swarm sponsored by a bunch of oil rigs or something? By the way, here's a graph. And if I had a nickel for every... By the way...
What was that? Time remaining on timer, time elapsed days. This actually lasted over 27 days? Jesus Christ.
Here's a graph. And if I had a nickel for every website the swarm have crashed, I'd have at least 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's impressive that it happened twice.
Guess I don't have that kind of power.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? How did you crash the site?
Like that?
I'll admit that for a while I thought that Neuro was still a niche, and that these guys weren't well known, but their streams nowadays get an average of like 4,000 viewers, and I only realized how big of a deal Neuro-Sama was after seeing the utter display of power from the swarm. Imagine being a streamer to an audience of 10 people, then the swarm just shows up. Now all of a sudden, you, a small theater performer, has to accommodate a stadium. Just ask anyone in Vettel's friend group who used to be small streamers. Seba, Ellie, I'm sure they'd all say the same thing about Swarm. They are very nice, they are very dedicated, and don't friend them because they will throw money at you and crash your stream faster than you could say. If the Swarm finds you...
Okay, that's a little bit scary, because my entire intro on the previous React video was talking about how devoted and non-toxic they are. Now, I don't stream, couldn't if I wanted to because my internet sucks. But hopefully nothing like that happens. I am too antisocial to handle that.
Entertaining faster than you could say. If the swarm finds you entertaining or interesting enough, you'll be on their radar regardless of whether or not you've ever even interacted with Neuro or Vettel. Or you do so much as to touch the Neuro-Sama pool for the first time, the swarm will find you and dump several years worth of lore onto your head.
I am the swarm that is approaching.
What did I say? Prepare for a simulation? A lot of the time, new streamers are introduced to the swarm via raids. On Twitch, when a stream ends, the streamer can redirect the viewers into a different stream by raiding. So, how does Vettel choose who to raid with all this power at hand? Well, he just picks one that has a nice model. Wait, seriously? Surely Vettel is aware of the sheer power at the tip of his fingers with the swarm. At will, he just tells people to give streamers money. Usually you see the streamer gives away money, but Copa Tuto over here is commanding his followers to do the dirty work, and they'd happily oblige. Early on, there were a lot of VTubers who were raided by Vettel like this and ended up involved in the coolest friend group ever with the twins and Vettel. Some are more involved with the twins' streams than others, but everyone offers their own thing to the table. This makes, in my opinion, the collabs especially exciting, and the vibe of this friend group is really wholesome. I don't know what sort of luck Vettel has, but he managed to pull a robotics engineer to build his daughter a robot dog body, from a random Twitch raid. And the swarm also sticks around and actually helped a lot of the streamers they've come across to grow and develop, and one time even paid for medical bills.
Very nice.
They are called the swarm in the most literal way in that they will do anything for their queens. Such list would include sending them to space, buying a time...
Whoa. You can't just skip over that. Was that the actual plushies? Did they actually launch the plushies to space? See, this is bothering me. I can't tell if it's faked or not, because it does have the rig on it, like you would actually need to get that camera shot. It looks like they actually did it, and then just somebody drew the helmets over it. There's no way, right?
Sending them to space, buying a Times Square billboard for an award show, and even advertising silly occasions on there, like Evil's birthday. Never mind, that's pretty important. Also, they created a VTuber out of Evil's one-time hallucination, basically willing people into existence. To the swarm, they don't just follow the streamers. The Clippers are arguably just as significant in this cinematic universe. Did I say significant? I meant popular. And rightfully so. They're the ones contributing to people who happen to spawn 7 hours too far to catch a stream at a reasonable time. And during the content droughts that were Vettel's post-subathon breaks, the Clippers were the ones keeping the content-starving swarm alive. Some of them are potentially aliens, somehow finding a streamer with 2 viewers that happen to mention the turtle. I'm looking at you, Staz. The shipping is absolutely insane, and the shippers are even more clinically so. All I'll say is, I know why now so many anime protagonists are just regular guys. I've seen a lot of incredible community art projects that come out of this, and it just goes to show that these AIs are beloved just like any other human streamers. And honestly, I'm proud to be a part of this community. Least dedicated fanbase, by the way.
Award for most dedicated fanbase of the year goes to Donkey Birds Dragoon!
If
I mean, I'm still kind of new to the whole VTube thing. I don't recognize Doki Bird. I don't recognize the blue one. I do at least recognize Fillion.
Donkey Birds Dragoon!
If you are an old Swarm member, surely you'd remember how Neuro first started. Just her playing Osu and talking to chat. Then she got her first collab with a human. Her first sort of friend. As time went on, Neuro, Vettel, and eventually Evil continued to stream and meeting more people. It's fun seeing them come together, usually just to hang out. Personally, even without Neuro or Evil, I still like watching these people interact with one another. The AIs were the reason that brought them together, but as I, a viewer, learn more about them, I stick around because I want to see the human interaction. That's one thing special about the Neuros and this community. It isn't just that Vettel made AIs for streaming, it's that they were able to give back real value to other people, gathering individuals that otherwise may have never known each other, indirectly helping them to form friendships. If Neuro didn't exist, it's unlikely that they'd ever come into contact with one another, let alone becoming friends. In turn, they surround the twins with what most AIs don't have: love and compassion. I understand that AIs are only meant to calculate and output results that they think are expected from them, but that's sort of it. Since everyone treats the twins like they're human children learning about the world, they have formed personalities that would make them more human in our perception. But they aren't trying to impersonate a human. They know they are AIs. We love them because they are born from a person's hard work, and their personalities are built from being surrounded by people who love them for exactly who they are. Just AIs goofing around. Even if any bit of humanity shown by these AIs aren't real, the love coming from everyone else around them is real. And should Judgment Day eventually come, surely you know which side you're on. With where Neuro and Evil are now, Vettel still wants to improve them. The final goal is to have them being fully autonomous, being able to plan streams, plan collabs, play games, do karaoke, everything all on their own, and Vettel would retire. However, I don't think it'd be that simple. Vettel has made himself far more important than he initially thought. Recently, Vettel's been pretty absent from streams, and just watching the twins by themselves is entertaining, but it feels like something's missing. While it's undeniable that Neuro first gained viewership on her own with her randomness AI appeal, times have changed. These AIs have changed, and it's not just about Neuro the AI VTuber anymore. It's Neuro, Evil, and Vettel, along with all of their friends. The occasional human element was what made our AI special. Take that away completely, you just have another AI content creator like many that already exists. Vettel completely removing himself is almost unthinkable at this point. But given what we've seen from him, maybe he'll surprise us like he always had. Honestly though, with how much he's done, he deserves a retirement more than anyone. You've probably noticed that the title's a bit misleading since I've spent 60% of the video talking about the community around these AIs more so than the AIs themselves. While their success is worth studying, you can't really ignore that the impact and everything that happens around them is part of it. We all know the saying, chat reflects streamer, and what they've managed to build after over 2 years is incredible. I'm proud to be part of such a fun, dedicated, wholesome, and supportive community. No matter what, I'm sure we're all looking forward to the future. I hope you've enjoyed and that you've learned something new. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye!
Is anyone there? Oh, hi.
Oh, I've seen this music video before. It's popped up on my Nightcore playlist a couple times, but we'll go ahead and watch it.
Hi. I could walk right beside you, show you
I'm a VTuber.
who I am. You know how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Is it the real Neuro-Sama in my call? It's amazing what friends can do. Friends are so nice.
Who am I? Do you know who I am?
Neuro-Sama, hello.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Hello? Hi, Neuro.
Hi. Hello?
I want you to feel more real, and that's gonna be the way to do it.
Can you blame me for pretending to be funny and having a laugh in my life if my sole purpose is to entertain others?
No, and I'm not blaming you for this. This, if anything, it's my fault for creating you this way.
There's one thing that I can't resist. One thing that would make me the fulfilled AI that I was always intended to be. Love. Because love is what can make a life worth living.
What more could you want?
How do I know if what I'm feeling is love? What does love feel like? Well, I'm just wondering what the point of it all is if there's no love in my life.
There's not a lot of love in my life. Doesn't mean there's no point to it, you know?
Then let's both try to have more love in our lives. It'll be a lot more fun. Hello.
Happy birthday, Neuro!
Okay, that was not okay. That was not okay. I was just about to say that this was a good video, but it didn't kind of stand up to the previous two. And then they do that. I thought it was just going to be watching the music video. You can't make me feel something like that out of nowhere. That was, oh wow, I don't even know what to say on that one. That actually made me tear up a little bit. That was, okay, that one caught me completely off guard. First off, amazing job on the edits there. Full props to the creator of this video. It just blindsided me. But that was extremely wholesome. Okay, I need to take a minute before I do an outro on this one. So that's going to wrap it up for another video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll be back to react with another one probably next week. Before I close up for the day, though, I do have one question I want to ask for the commenters on here. So far, these Neuro React videos have gotten me more, say, constructive criticism than I've ever had from any other video, but really shouldn't be surprised since most of my other videos get single-digit views. But people have been pointing out issues I've had with the camera angles and with pausing, unpausing at wrong times, etc., etc. So hopefully I can get a little bit of feedback on something else on here that's not directly related to the Neuro videos. If you're not interested, you can go ahead and just close out. That's fine. But for those of y'all stuck around, see if I can get y'all's opinion on this. And that is the avatar I'm using. The most common complaint I get on any of my videos is this model, which personally I like it. All it is I wanted to see if I could draw myself as a Pixar character, is where this model came from. And honestly, I like the way it looked, but I'm still constantly having people trying to tell me I made it using AI, even though I have the whole process recorded in a short series. That, or they just tell me it outright looks creepy. So before you cast your opinion on that, just take a minute here and give a quick backstory on where this came from. My original model, you can see here, I can see why people thought that one was made by AI, because where I got my reference from for it was I did take a picture of myself, shove it into ChatGPT, and say, hey, make me a Pixar character. That way I would have a reference to go by. And apparently I designed it too close to ChatGPT's style, which I didn't realize they had a designated style. And so, of course, my videos after that were flooded with complaints that it was nothing but AI slop. So I took the most common complaints about it you see here and kept those in mind when making my new model, and made sure to record the whole process, yada, 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 and modified the style and proportions, and doing the paint on it. I tried to avoid using anything with a yellow tint, because apparently only AI can give somebody a tan or use Pixar proportions. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, so that's how I got to the model where I'm at now. But I'm still regularly getting complaints that people think it's made by AI and or very creepy. So again, up until now, I haven't really cared because nobody's been watching the videos anyway. But at least on these Neuro Reacts, there is a lot of views. So I don't want to be using a model that is detracting from people's viewer experience if people are going to actually be watching these videos. So y'all just let me know below. It honestly wouldn't be that hard for me to redraw it and re-rig it with the same model and just use regular anime cell shading instead of painting it as 3D. And that would probably resolve those issues. So y'all just cast your opinion down below. I'm not going to go through the trouble of setting up a poll or anything, but y'all just let me know if the model's actually been bothering y'all. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.